I always sabotage my success. How many times have you done that? Most of us would say numerous times in our life we've sabotaged our success. The question is it really truly a sabotaging of our success? Is there something deep inside of us that just says, you know what, you're not deserving of that goal that you're achieving? Or is it just maybe something else that we're not aware of? Maybe it's just a small underlying belief. What if it was a belief, a tiny little switch, a carburetor adjustment that you could make in the way you perceive this, and that can make all the difference in things. Remember, when you start internalizing things, when you start going out there and saying negative thoughts and internal conversations with yourself, that creates this negative loop. And as we all know, there's an abundance in the world. But the key thing is how to grab that abundance and how to know if we are grabbing that. And it all comes down to these little shifts in the perception of our true narrative versus our perceived narrative. First of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Mark Patrick. If you're not familiar with this dude, I run the largest self-improvement company in the United States, specializing in doing weight loss, stop smoking, end anxiety, and stop drinking programs. Been doing it almost 30 years. I'm really grateful. Almost 1 million clients. I've stayed for most of my life below the darn radar here because I like my privacy here. I guess over the last couple of years, I went through a little bit of a traumatic change. I got divorced, and I just kind of decided to say, hey, you know what? I really want to dive into, the legacy part of my life where I could share as much of the stuff knowledge I've learned that could hopefully make an impact for you. So here's how this kind of works. You and I have what is called, stay with me on this, an unconscious structure of values that drive us. I've heard this referred to as a hierarchy of values. I call it unconscious structure. Why? Because most of us aren't even aware it's there, but it drives our habits, behaviors, and our beliefs. And here's how it works. It's like a ladder. You got, 8, 10 steps in the ladder. The top 2 or 3 steps are the top 2 or 3 values in your life. And those top 2 or 3 values are the ones that you are internally inspired to fulfill. You will take 80 to 90% of your time, your energy, your resources, your money, and you will put those towards those values and not even think twice about it. When you set goals in line with those values, you also have a higher probability of achieving those goals. When you hit those goals, you actually will hit the executive center of the brain, get a big dopamine fix, and then you'll raise the bar, which means you're not satisfied. You're always in that kind of self-improvement mindset, which is kind of on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I don't want to get into for time purposes here. Anything below those top, say, 2 or 3 values, what happens is this: we don't have a lot of bandwidth for those values. So we kind of look towards external solutions towards those. So an example is this. Let's say you are a mom right now who works full-time, who's married, who has activities in your church or with friends, or maybe a really great hobby that you love and enjoy doing. So those will probably take up the majority of your bandwidth. Your health, you want to lose weight, but your health is lower on that list here. So what happens is, since you don't have a lot of bandwidth for that, you will attract quick fix diet programs, things that are the latest shiny object syndrome there. And what happens is you'll always go through this. When health is low on the list, you'll start a diet, let's say New Year's resolution time, which is coming up pretty soon. You'll get a couple of weeks of results or a couple of months, and then all of a sudden, it seems like out of nowhere, you end up falling off the wagon, going back to the old patterns, old habits, to that old emotional home that your subconscious mind is comfortable with, and you kind of scratch your head and say, well, what the hell did I do wrong? And then all of a sudden, you come up with this perceived narratives, I must sabotage my success there. Here's what's actually taking place. The true narrative is this, is you are incredibly inspired and motivated. You're just fulfilling the top 3 or 4 goals. You're putting all your time, energy, and resources towards those. I'll give you an example. I'll ask you a question. If you have a daughter, I'm willing to guess that if you're a mom and you had a daughter or a dad, whatever, and I asked you a question, what'd you do for the birthday party last year for your daughter? What was the theme? What was the cake? What was inside the cake? What were the presents? How many people did you invite? Where was it? You would have this incredible retention of information. But now if I turned around and said, your health is lower on the list, hey, how many calories did you eat yesterday? How many grams of protein did you eat? How was your sleep patterns? You see what I'm saying? You probably have no recollection of that because it's lower on the list. It's really not that you sabotage your success. It's really that you're putting all your time, energy, and resources to those highest values. So Mark, how do I go out there and fix this? Well, you can fix this a couple of ways. First way you could change and get health higher on your value list is you could do an immersion technique where you do things over and over and over again consciously till it eventually becomes what is called unconsciously competent, where it's automatic, stored in the subconscious mind, so you free up more bandwidth to learn other things. That takes a heck of a lot of time, usually about 67 days on average, upwards to 187 days, not 21 where most people think it takes to establish a brand new behavior. Now, the challenge with that is, remember this, if health is lower on your list and you have no emotional leverage, those top 2 or 3 values are eventually going to pull you in that direction, pull you away from your goals. You're going to have internal conflict or cognitive dissonance, and ultimately you're going to want to be healthy but struggle be healthy, and you're going to go towards those other values, and then you go through that negative loop. What the heck happened to me? But this time it's a little different. So that's one way. The second way you could do it is through a life-changing epiphany moment or a cataclysmic event or pain. Pain is the best motivator for inspiration for change. When the pain of the existing behavior becomes more painful than changing, it could take you 10, 20, 30, 40 years to get to that point. You're going to change in an instant. The challenge with that is what? You can't just make up a scene of pain. You can't manifest it. You can't meditate a scene of pain into your brain. It just kind of happens organically, and you don't really recognize it was the worst moment until you look back in hindsight. The third way, the most effective way, is meditation and hypnosis. Why? Because you're able to tap into the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind takes all information literally. You're able to block out your external surroundings, your cell phones, your kids, your grandkids, your work, your emails, all that. You're able to shut down that. And when you're in an alpha state of brain activity, which is a hypnotic state, when you go to bed at night, that's an alpha state. When you wake up in the morning, you're able to condition the brain in the present moment. It's not thinking about the past. It's not thinking about the future. It's in the present moment. 3 ways to change it. I just wanted to share with you this. Hopefully you got something out of this lesson, this video, that you can apply to your life, live a healthier lifestyle. In the meantime, if you like what you hear here and see here and you want to get some more content in this topic here, make sure you follow. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, because that'll always, always, always be a good thing for us to put more content out for you. Thanks for watching. See you soon.